Is going to the grocery store killing your grocery budget? If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries, and mostly that is by reducing your food waste. I've actually had a TED Talk about this, and I'm a best-selling author of the Zero Waste Produce Guide. But our grocery budget is $135 per person, and that is for a family of 2 of us, so our grocery budget is $270 per month. And for the first time, I can disclose some information. So I've normally kept it very quiet exactly where I live, just for our family's safety. But I live just outside the Seattle area, and the Seattle area has the highest minimum wage in the entire country, which means our food costs are also one of the highest in the country. So unless you're living in Hawaii or Alaska, we're right up there with you. And I know grocery prices up in Canada are higher than ours, but across the United States, here in the Seattle area, we are in a high cost of living area. I had found about 15 years ago that we had cut everything from our budget that we possibly could, but our grocery budget just felt like it was what it was and we couldn't do anything about it. But I soon realized that after I made some changes, I was able to drastically cut our grocery budget and even buy higher quality organic items. We are an allergy family, so I'm always first concerned to make sure that the items that I'm bringing into the house isn't something that is going to trigger an allergy for our family. And I'm really concerned about making sure that we have organic items as much as possible. I normally say that we're about an 80-20 family. 80% of the time I'm trying to bring in organic whole items as much as possible, and 20% I give myself a little bit of grace. But I did realize it was the frequent stops to the grocery store which was killing our budget, because it was so easy to be able to just swing into the store. And when I talk about so easy, for the first time I can disclose just how easy that used to be for us. From where I'm standing here in the kitchen, I can see Costco across the street from my house. That is how close we live to Costco. And if I look out this back window here, I can see Fred Meyer's. And just one stoplight down from Costco is Target and Walmart. There was so many easy, just swing in trips that I could be doing. It seemed like going into the grocery store to get something as simple as getting an avocado was ending up costing me $50 at the time. And that was 10 years ago. It wasn't until I started learning some produce tips that made my avocados last for a month that I was able to cut down some of my grocery shopping trips. And then I realized that I was able to drastically cut our grocery costs. And even though we are at home all of the time, I do not like to actually cook all of the time. So I make sure that we meal prep some meals so I can just pull out easy things and we can always have easy meals. And it is just my husband and I here for the last 18 months. But before that, our kids lived at home. We were foster parents. And we also had my grandma living here for a time. So no matter what season of life we were in, we were able to stick to that grocery budget of $135 per person per month. And I have been able to stick to that same grocery budget in the last 5 years, even with the variable costs of groceries right now, because we have zero food waste. The average family in the United States is throwing away over 40% of the food that they're buying. And I have tips and tricks on this channel to teach you how to have zero food waste. I kind of have some inside information about Instacart. I was actually one of the drivers for Instacart a couple years ago when I was researching for my TED Talk, and I kind of wanted to see what other families were purchasing. But it was so hard for me because I would see the sales price that was on the shelf, and that's not the price that each individual item was getting charged to the family. So they were getting charged a higher price per item and a service charge and the tip. So it might end up saving some families time and money, and that's worth it. But if you're really concentrating on your grocery budget, Instacart does have hidden fees that you don't realize. So really check in your area to see what the best thing is. Another option is to do like grocery pickup, and a lot of those don't have as many hidden fees on them. When we first started trying to stretch out going to the grocery store, it literally was trying to stretch it out from going every single day to not going for 2 or 3 days. It was a learning curve at the beginning and making sure that I had those ingredients in the house that I was able to make meals that were really versatile and fit with our lifestyle. Now I only go grocery shopping. I say it's once every 3 weeks. It is technically normally every 4 weeks. There's something that happens in my brain chemistry when I say it's only once a month that kind of makes me freak out a little bit. So if I say it's every 3 weeks, and then that last week I'm kind of pushing it out to see how far we can go. But right now, because we are getting ready to move in a few days, we've actually haven't been to the grocery store in 6 weeks, and we still have fresh produce in the fridge. One of the reasons why I kept pushing it out further and further is COVID happened, and I didn't want to be going to the grocery store. But this move has been something that we have been planning for many years. And when we do move, we are going to be about 45 minutes away from the nearest good grocery store. So we were trying to make sure that we could handle moving to a very small town in the middle of nowhere. And this is just a habit that we have been able to do. So I can sit here and look at Costco and not want to just drive across the street and go get something that's super easy, because going and doing those frequent trips does ruin your grocery budget. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you're hitting subscribe. I have hundreds of videos on this channel teaching you how to buy groceries, keep them fresh longer, and tons of meal prepping ideas. And this is my zero waste produce guide that goes through 75 items A to Z with all of the tips to keeping items fresh longer, and there's meal ideas in it. And then this is also my grocery planner that has 5 different covers to choose from. And this is how I keep track of the ingredients in my house and the spending that we're doing, so we stay on track of new and fresh ideas for meals. Both of these items are linked in the description, and there is a discount code, so make sure that you're checking them out.